5 Lessons on How to Become Great at What You Do. Mastery by Robert Greene. Robert Greene is an inspirational American author of 5 bestsellers, including The 48 Laws of Power, The Art of Seduction, The 33 Strategies of War, The 50th Law, and Mastery. Greene's signature style is a combination of psychological acumen and historical narrative. In a 2012 interview with Forbes, Greene claimed that everyone is able to do something exceptional. Mastery is a self-help book built upon exclusive historical research following powerful figures and what drove them to mastery. There are a lot of lessons that can be accumulated from Greene's book about how to become great at what you do, and you too can be on the path to your own mastery. Follow on to learn the top 5 lessons that you can learn to forge your own successful future. Lesson number 1. Alive versus dead time. In Greene's view, there are different types of time in our lives: dead time and alive time. Dead time is when you're waiting for things to happen to you, rather than actually going to get it. Dead time is time that you'll never be able to get back again. This brings us onto alive time. That is when you're learning, growing, and actively taking control of your time. Of course, not everything will always happen how we want it to, and it will become an easy thing to let the dead time pass until we can achieve what we want. But that way, you're going to be sitting in the same position and never actually evolving. If you're utilizing every second that you've got in your life, then you're making a positive step towards your future. You can take the reins and guide exactly where you're going, rather than passively waiting around for your life to change. Lesson number 2. Development versus regret. If we make a mistake or have a setback within our career or our lives, it's difficult for them to be forgotten. Failure can be detrimental to a person's life, both positively and negatively. It's how you deal with the setback that will have an impact on the rest of your life. Regretting your actions will leave you in dead time. It's time to think about your drawbacks in a positive light. Mistakes are going to be made. Nobody is perfect at everything, and good things really do take time. However, if you learn from your mistakes and use them to your advantage, you can really learn about yourself. It's important to analyze what it was that went wrong and learn how you can prevent this from happening in the future. If there are any correlations in the mistakes that you've made, then it's essential to note that and change them. Reflect on what you can learn from the situation and take it as another step towards self-development. Lesson number 3. Enjoyment versus security. In order to succeed in your work, you'll need to be dedicated and passionate. If you're in a job that you hate, chances are you're not going to be putting your all into it. If you have no passion or motivation for what you're doing, then you're really not doing anybody any favors, whether that's to yourself or to your superiors. While you may feel secure in your job, if you don't step outside of that comfort zone, then you're unlikely to do anything of value. The most exciting things happen in life when you take risks. That is not to say go reckless, but instead focus on what you enjoy. Having a love for what you do is so important. Lesson number 4. Gut versus guilt. If you've ever heard the phrase, trust your gut, well, then this fits it perfectly. If you've got a certain feeling about something, then chances are you're probably right, and that won't go away. By learning to listen to your gut, you'll be able to make strategic decisions about your life. If you're scared or feeling guilty about what others may say or do, then you're living your life according to other people's standards instead of taking control of what you want. If you have that gut feeling telling you that something is really wrong, then act upon it and make a change. Lesson number 5. Learning versus attention. During the months of apprenticeship, that is the introduction to the field, it can be easy to lose yourself trying to impress your new boss. Of course, you want to make a good impression and show them what you have to offer. But sometimes it can be misconstrued, and instead you focus on gaining attention. As an ingrained part of human nature, we look for recognition and credibility. We look for the number of things we've achieved, rather than the value of what we've achieved. We look for appraisal and gratification, rather than simply just accepting how far we've come. This can end up being a dangerous game. If you're constantly looking for someone else for approval, it can completely crush you if you don't get it. And there are going to be times when you don't get it. So you'll become consumed with what you didn't get from them rather than what you could do to improve and grow. Instead, focus on learning and trust in the process of gaining more knowledge. Over time, with an array of experience behind you, you'll gain confidence and be more self-assured that you are capable of handling the situation. You can't control what people think of you, but you can control what they make that decision based upon.